Hey everyone, welcome back to Outside of Work, where we explore who we truly are beyond our job titles. Wow, I've missed saying that. How y'all doing? I hope you guys are doing well. It's finally summer. Oh, my favorite season. It's like a balming 90 something degrees right now, but I take that over 32 degrees, 20 degrees, zero, wind slapping me in the face any day. I hate winter. And it seems like this winter like stretched all the way until like June. Now we're in summer. It's my birthday month. And it's all good. Yeah. I recently came back from Ghana, where I went to attend a friend's wedding. I was actually a bridesmaid. It was so cool to see how a traditional wedding was done in Ghana. And also, it was my second time there. The first time was back in 2019. And to go back now, it's just like, Ghana's home. It's chill. I love it. There. The people there are awesome. The food is amazing. And I just had a good time. Y'all, I am still reveling in how my skin looks after that beautiful, soft African water. For YouTube viewers, let me give you a close-up to see what I'm talking about. Because I'm not even wearing any makeup. Well, the only makeup I'm wearing is eyeshadow and mascara. But let me show you what this African water does for my skin. Clear as ever. Literally, why can't I have that here? I would have so much less acne and so many less breakouts. Anyways, but today's episode is all about our subconscious. I spoke to Ash Cebulka, who is a transformation coach and an author. Ash told me that she is endlessly curious about humans. She is a serial entrepreneur who knew that she could not work for anybody, and so she started making her own businesses. But she found that she really couldn't help people the way that she wanted to. And that's really what she says is her life mission. And so she started as a traditional therapist. It's a talk therapist. You go, you tell them your problems, and they kind of help you through it and all that. Until she found Psych-K, this modality that I was telling you about. Psych-K is all about reprogramming your subconscious beliefs, conditioning, and closing trauma loops, therefore creating new nervous system set points. It's all about ripping off what you used to know, all this conditioning that you had from when you were a baby, I'm telling you, and like as you grow up in life and the environments that you're in, and creating something that fills you with joy and more ease. Another thing she talks about is following your intuition. How many times have we talked about this already on this show? Your intuition, your gut will always do you right, but a lot of us have been conditioned not to listen to our gut. So she really talks about that and gives us some tips on how to cool our nervous system, how to follow our intuition, and really live a better life. These are the breakthroughs that she helps her clients with, people with. This is her life's mission. And this conversation is just so absolutely beautiful. I loved having Ash on. And just a heads up, this interview was actually taped in March. And so I suck. That's basically the end story of it. I've been just sitting on it. Ash, I'm so sorry. But finally, I'm so happy that people get to hear your message, your story, because it is very powerful. It is so grounding. It's so human. And I think there's something that we can all relate to. Her knowledge, what she has to share, I really, truly think you guys are just going to love this episode. So without further ado, here is Ash Cebulka. Ash, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you doing?
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm great.
Of course.
How are you?
Of course. I'm a bit under the weather, but we're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep it pushing.
There's so much stuff going around this winter. It's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what it is, but I'm ready for it to be over. I feel spring in the air nowadays, and so it's making me hopeful.
Yeah. And where are you? Are you outside New York?
Yeah, I'm in Jersey. I'm in North Jersey. And
okay.
Yeah.
Where in North Jersey are you?
Hackensack.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you know Jersey?
Cool. I do. I lived there for a little bit.
Stop. I didn't know that. Because I know right now you're in Charleston, right?
I am, where the allergies are insane, which is making people feel super sick. But my mom grew up in Westfield, New Jersey.
Nice.
My dad's from Philly. And then I lived in Avalon for a bit, but I summered there and Cape May every summer of my life. So yeah,
Wow. Okay, so you're an honorary Jersey girl. You basically
yeah,
are.
yeah, yeah, totally. My mom is definitely a Jersey girl.
Definitely, we're the best. So,
I agree.
so then how'd you get to Charleston?
On a total whim, like so many people who
Yeah.
land here, but it was 21 years ago, which I can't even believe I'm saying out loud. It's just insane that I've lived here. It's the longest I've lived anywhere in my entire life,
Yeah.
but I was taking a break from school.
Mhm.
I moved to Florida for a little bit, was gonna go and then decided I definitely didn't wanna live there, and then was driving back up to the Northeast, and I was gonna finish school at either the Art Institute in Philly or
Mm.
FIT in New York, and I stopped here for one night, fell in love with it, met
Yeah.
a guy, of course,
Aw.
like that whole story, but
Love
anyway,
it.
not with that guy at all anymore, but I ended
Yeah.
up going to the Northeast in a winter, February, dark, dreary day in
Mm.
Philly, and I was like, "I can't do it.
This
I
ain't
can't
it.
do the winter again. I
I
just,
got
like,
it.
I can't." And even though I love Philly so much, it has such
Uh-huh.
a special place in my heart, and so I moved to Charleston 2 weeks later,
I don't blame
and I've
you.
been here ever since.
Oh, I do not blame you. These Northeast winters will make you wish you could move to somewhere warmer. So I'm happy for
Yeah.
you. Um,
Oh, thank you, thank you.
yeah. But
Yeah, I
welcome
do love
to, yeah, of course. Welcome to outside of work, though, where, our motto is we explore who we truly are beyond our job titles. And so to get
Mhm.
everybody a bit acquainted with you, removing your titles, we're going to get to that soon, removing,
Thank you.
your job and stuff. Let us know, who is Ash?
Oh my gosh, first of all, I love that you do that so much because in my work, I helped people with their purpose and figuring out what their career is based on their purpose, but it was always so much more than work.
Yeah.
And so I love that you're doing this because it's so important for people to know.
Thank you.
Um, who am I outside of work? I mean, I like to have a lot of fun. So who is Ash outside of work? I love
Yes.
like, first of all, I'm a mom, so that's, like, the number one thing for me in the world, to the sweetest girl, sweetest and spiciest little girl, Sienna, and she's just the light of my life. I'm so in love with her. And then, like, who am I outside of being a mom? I'm just a person who loves people, and so I love life a lot, and I love people a lot. So I love to be out in the mix with a lot of people, and then I also have this hermit side to me where I need, like, a ton of downtime and I'm a homebody, and I kinda dance between those 2. And when I'm out in the world, I wanna be seeing, like, live music and I mean, music is everything, so I'm quite obsessed with it. I go to as many live shows as I can. I love to be in the beach, but I also love the city and I also love nature. So I'm just trying to like, as much as I can, like all of us juggling all the roles that we have, sprinkle as much fun throughout life as I can while navigating entrepreneurship,
Mhm.
motherhood,
Mhm.
and all the other things.
Absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that you say, I'm just a person who's trying to love life. I'm just living, I'm out here living. And the fact that you love people. Have you always liked people? Because I feel as though
I
those are two completely different things, being a hermit and loving people. So yeah, where'd that come
Well,
in?
I'm both, right? Like I can be very extroverted,
Yeah.
but then I've learned this over time after burning out so many times that like especially because of my work, which we'll get into, I actually need that time to restore and come back to my creativity and come back to myself because it's really easy for me to take on the energy of other people
Yeah.
because I'm very empathic. And so it's vital for me to have both. And I used to never take the alone time. And I now know that that's actually led to not the greatest like outlets and healthy ways of coping with feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and I've always loved people. I mean, my parents tell the story all the time of when I think I was 4 or 5 years old, and they took me to a museum. And I walked up to the museum curator and I was like, "Would you like to come home for dinner with us?
Oh
Like, my
my
mom is just the most
gosh.
amazing cook, and we would just love to have you." And my
Stop.
dad's like, "Who just took over our daughter's body?" Like, I was speaking in an accent that I don't normally have. But I just have always been endlessly curious about human beings. And I ask a lot of questions because I'm just so Like, what makes you you?
Mm-hmm.
I want to know all about it,
Mm-hmm.
and I've always been that way. Yeah.
Oh
I
man,
don't know
that's
why.
so beautiful. Can you imagine your parents are like, what the heck is she doing? We can't just bring
My
this
dad
stranger
goes,
home.
She sounds like Pearl Bailey. Like, who is this kid?"
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that's so funny. And so then that
Mhm.
easily transitions you into kind of what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Initially you were a serial entrepreneur, and now
Mhm.
you are trained in the practice of in the modality of Psych-K. So like take us into
Yeah.
how you even got into that and what that is.
Oh, it's such a long story, but I'll make it short. I definitely have always been an extremely passionate person. And
Yeah.
so when I have something that lights me up, I don't know, especially as a kid, like I just didn't have a lot of fear.
Mm.
Certainly more fear creeped in like it does for all of us as I got older. But I guess that is what like really gave me the courage to go after the things that I was interested in from a young age and becoming an entrepreneur when I was so young. I mean, I was 23 when I
Wow.
started, but I also suck at working for other people. So that's part of it. Like
You're
I
like,
have a
this is not gonna work out. This 9 to 5
yeah,
is
like
not
I just
it.
have a clear vision of the way that I love working with people,
Yeah.
but not necessarily for somebody else. Collaboration's everything, obviously. But and so anyways, the first store that I had was a clothing and furniture store,
Oh, wow.
which I loved so much. And I had it with my mom, and
Mm.
we would travel all over so she kind of did the furniture bit. I did some of it, but she did most of it because she's an interior designer. And then I did the clothing part of it. And it was so fun. I mean, we had it for 10 years. It was like
10
our version of
years. Wow.
anthropology, but my mom did like, we would go to auctions, we would travel all over the country and world, like looking for really unique pieces. And it was a blast. And really, this coaching stuff started even back then which I didn't realize until much later. But no matter what shape, color, size, ethnicity, socioeconomic background these women were coming in trying these clothes, they all spoke negatively about themselves.
Mm.
It did not matter. And it really actually like broke my heart, to be honest. Like I had such a hard time with it. And it's because I had gone on my own journey, like so many of us do, of learning how to love myself and learning how to feel comfortable in my own body. And I kind of got a crash course in it because I had a really severe eating disorder for all my adolescence. I
Mm.
was in and out of eating disorder hospitals, in and out of mental institutions
Wow.
for a total of a year. Like I lived in those places. And so I was like really knocking on death's door and very, very sick. And the doctor said that I would never heal. And because I'm a spicy Italian, I was like, you can't freaking tell me that I'm never going to heal. Now I'm going to
Yeah.
heal just because you told me I
In
couldn't heal.
spite of that, yep.
Um, which is of course not the right energy to come at it, but it was the fire that I needed to get started. And long
Yeah.
story short, by the time I had the store, I had fully healed after having it for over 10 years. And so hearing women still battling with this, of course I had so much empathy because I'd been there. I had the worst relationship with my body and
Yeah.
myself in general. But I was determined that once I healed, I was going to help others heal their relationship with themselves. And so in that store, I created a no negative self-talk zone.
Okay.
So I would politely tell the women, like, listen, here we don't speak negatively about ourselves.
Yeah.
And if you want to do that, I'm going to very kindly ask you to leave the store. And that's not because out of not being mean towards you, it's to help you like
Yeah.
really start to think about the way you're talking about yourself and your amazing body that carries you throughout your day. So anyways, that kind of sparked the conversation, and very long story short, after that I ended up leaving we closed that store. I started another company. It was a gourmet cookie boutique called Yes You May. It was all
I
my own
love that.
recipes. It was so fun. It was like, because when I was a little girl, I wanted to be Mrs. Fields. Like I
Oh my
baked cookies
gosh.
for all my friends on every sports team I was on. I was always baking for everybody. And then I thought that that was going to be the avenue in which I helped and reached people and
Yeah.
encouraged them to have a good relationship with themselves. But after making 2,000 cookies a day, I was like, yeah, this kind of is fun, but not really what I want to be spending my time doing. I want to be interacting
Yeah.
with people and talking to them. And so that's when a whole lot of life happened during that time too,
Mm.
that kind of kicked my ass into gear in the
Yeah.
sense of there was a sense of urgency. My brother tragically passed away,
Um,
and I got
I'm
engaged
so sorry.
all within like 6 months of each other, and starting this business and running the other family business. And it was just kind of like a tornado of life happening
That's
all
a
at once.
lot. That's a lot.
And I just decided, like, I've just got to go for it. I've just got to do the thing that like really naturally comes to me, and that is what I know I'm here to do, even though I have so much resistance and fear around it.
Mm.
And so I left the cookie company, started my business, and I've been doing that ever since. And especially because my brother really struggled with mental illness and addiction, I was like, I have to dedicate my life to helping people because I know it's what I'm here to do.
Mhm.
And even if it feels scary, I'm just going to do it. And so I've had it for 11 years since.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that is quite the story to how you got to where you are now. And it's so interesting that you say, life happened to you and really gave you the push you needed to go towards what you actually wanted to do. Which life has a funny way of doing that. It's like in the back of our minds, it's almost like we know what we want to do or what we need to do, but
Mhm.
unless we get like for some people, and I know that for me, absolutely. I need to hit like not rock bottom, but like shit needs to go wrong for me to
Yeah.
finally be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I gotta wake
Yeah.
up now, you know? Is that how you felt you were like that moment? That's what that moment was for you?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I feel like in that moment, which was moments, right? Like there was several, but
Yeah.
it became this collective of like life is actually happening for you.
Mm,
And when you start really paying attention to all this stuff, I mean, it put me on, I was already on a spiritual path, but it kind of like it magnified it times a million. Cause my brother was my person. Like he was one of my soulmates in this life. So to lose somebody that you're that close to, and in the way we lost him, it was like,
yeah.
oh my God, if I don't wake up and make the most of my life right now, what am I even doing here?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so for sure, it was one of those things where it was like I was at a crossroads, and I really could have gone either way,
Yeah.
but the universe made real obvious what was the best choice.
Mm,
And I think you're not alone, Gentrix. Like most people,
yeah.
it takes a cataclysmic event
Yep.
or something that brings them to their knees in order to change. But I
Exactly.
love helping people before they get to that point, but a lot of people come to me when they're in that,
Yeah.
divorce or grief or huge crossroads. So, yeah.
Yeah. And so let's get into that then. What is Psych-K? How does that help people?
Okay, so Psych-K. So I just want to tell people how I got to this
Yeah.
because so Psych-K works with the subconscious. I'll start there. So what that means is it allows you to reprogram your subconscious beliefs, conditioning, and also close trauma loops, while simultaneously, as you're doing those things, you're creating new nervous system set points and reprogramming your nervous system. So it's super, super powerful. And I'd been doing traditional coaching for 7 years before I got certified in it.
Mhm.
And I loved it. I was helping people who were trying to figure out how to launch a purpose driven career. It was so fun. I'd obviously gone through plenty of career changes, so I could relate.
Yeah.
But I wanted to help people go deeper because the more I learned about the subconscious versus talking to the conscious mind, I was like, oh my God, this is where all the change happens, like true sustainable change.
And is that what like traditional therapy is? Is that just like talking to the
Yeah.
conscience instead of the subconscious? Okay.
I'm so glad you asked that question. Yes. So traditional therapy talks to it's so wonderful. I love traditional therapy, right? It's just that it's talking to at best 5% of your daily thoughts, conditioning and habits. Whereas the subconscious is 95%, and
Whoa.
that's yeah. And so 95, a lot of science is now showing 98%. And that is wired, programmed into you from the ages of 0 to 7, and then
Mhm.
a little bit more from 7 to 12.
Okay.
And because during that time, you don't have the analytical facilities to question what you're hearing and what you're being told. So you just believe it to be true, right?
Oh,
From the people that are raising
your
you, from the
environment.
environment you're in, from the
Yeah.
society you're raised in. And so you just take it on as the truth. And then that shapes literally the way you perceive life and what you believe is possible.
Yeah, those are the key developmental years right there. So
Mhm.
when you talk about like trauma loops, that I'm assuming that's where many people where many people start theirs.
Yeah. In addition
Wow.
to heightened emotional events, like
Yeah.
really challenging tough things. And so a lot of times people are like, why am I repeating the same patterns my parents did? Or like all the things I knew, a lot of people come to me and they're like, I know I want this,
Yeah.
but I keep doing the same damn shit no matter how many times I try. Like I make some progress and then I keep coming back.
Yeah.
And I want to tell everybody listening that with so much love, it almost isn't even your fault that you're doing that. And I say that meaning it is literally the program that you are running on. And until you change the program, your body and mind are actually just doing their job. Like they're just trying to keep you safe. That's what the whole subconscious and nervous system is. Its whole job is
Yeah.
to keep you safe and keep you in familiar zone.
Wow.
So until you change those things, you're going to keep going back to those things. Like until you change those beliefs and that conditioning. But then once you do change them, then it becomes very natural to start having different thought patterns, different habits, and feeling different in your body. And that's what the guy who created Psych-K, like me, wanted to help people create more effective change in a really meaningful way. And so this process actually channeled through him. He was a psychotherapist for over 20 years. He asked God to give him some signs, like help him.
Yeah.
This channeled through him. He wrote it all out, started testing it with friends and family. And then after he did that and seeing the effectiveness of this, he's like, all right, well, let's get science behind this so people can understand it's not just a bunch of woo-woo stuff. And that's when they did the EEG brain map testing and were able to show what was actually happening, like the new neural plasticity, the new neural pathways, all the new beliefs that were being formed, what was happening to the nervous system, and how dramatically it was changing people's lives. Like people who've been addicts for most of their life were able to dramatically change their relationship with themselves, with their relationship to those addictive tendencies. People who've like thought that they were an anxious person, I put air quotes around that. Like that's all the conditioning that's stored in the subconscious. And so when that changes, quite frankly, your identity changes because you completely change.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a massive transformation. That's crazy.
It is pretty massive. Yeah.
How the heck do you do that? How do you change your subconscious?
Yeah. So there's a handful, maybe two at this point, of modalities that actually talk to the subconscious. Because again, traditional therapy, podcasts, self-help, they're all amazing in raising awareness and getting the creative part of your consciousness to become clear with what you want, which is necessary, right? But the modalities that work with the subconscious actually allow you to rewire it. So with Psych-K, you use the body as a way to do a specific form of muscle testing. It's not kinesiology. It's different than that.
Okay.
And then with that muscle testing, we discover what you do or don't believe. And then from there, we're able to change those beliefs to what you do want. And then we're also able to close trauma loops. And that is, I always tell my clients, I'm like, this is the best bang for your buck. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when you close a trauma loop about something, and let's just break down for everybody, like trauma doesn't have to be what a big T trauma, right? Like people will think of, a death in a family or, rape or something that feels really intense. It doesn't have to be that. We experience a lot of little traumas throughout life. It's just a stressful event that's stored inside of you that when you revisit it, you still feel stress around it.
Feel it. Yeah.
And so that's affecting the way you view yourself, your perceptions of life, what's possible.
Yeah. And it goes on in a loop and a loop and a loop. I see.
Exactly. So when you close that, you create a perception change and change that stressful event from feeling stressful, and it turns it into wisdom. And then from there, you're able to be around that situation or person or revisit it and look at it with a new perspective, really, and not feel charged, and instead feel empowered and in your body and more able to make logical decisions.
Wow. Because they're definitely, and I know some people listening are like already thinking in their heads of the different little traumas or even the big trauma that they have that they keep going to and that it really like gets at their nervous system. I mean, I'm thinking of some too right now. And so it just kind of makes me wonder, like, is there a certain technique that like the layman can do every day to help them kind of get into that mindset?
To help them with closing trauma loops. I mean, you do, to close a trauma loop, you really do need to work with somebody who's certified in Psych-K to help you through that. But what you can do if you feel like you're really triggered and you're having a hard time getting past old patterns, I mean, there's so many things you can do, but one is really tend to your nervous system in a way that's loving and nurturing, because the whole reason why I do this work at the end of the day is because I want to help people realize what powerful creators they are of their life every single day. And in addition to that, help them really trust their intuition, because your intuition is speaking to you all the time and it's the wisest part of you. The conditioning is what keeps you from listening to and trusting it. And so when you tend to your nervous system, not in a checklist way, like self-care has become there's so many wonderful things about self-care, like becoming popular.
Yeah.
It's just that it's becoming another checklist for people. So a way to really shift your energy and your mindset is to think about doing these things because you love yourself, because you want to love yourself, because you want to love your mind, you want to love your body, because you want to really take care of this body that you have. And when you cut that, just the intention alone changes the outcome of those experiences. So then get curious about how you can tend to your nervous system in a way that feels really nourishing for you. So like, just because everybody's doing an ice bath doesn't mean that that's the best thing for you. I have no interest in going in an ice bath.
Oh, none at all. None at all. If
Right.
anything, I would shock my nervous system. That's too much.
It's too much. Like, whereas like, I love going in a sauna. Like,
Okay,
be curious. Yeah. Be curious about like what actually feels good to you to do. And intending to your nervous system, you can start to like really trust the signals that your body's giving you. Because a lot of people are saying like, listen to and trust your body. But if you're in an activated nervous system state, your body's communicating with you from a fearful space.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. And especially nowadays, I feel as if all of our nervous systems are just on edge with the state of the world nowadays. It's been a lot.
Yeah. So can I give 3 tips that I would say
please.
like, anybody can do? Okay. One, I would do box breathing is a really great way to regulate your nervous system in a really short period of time. And that's inhaling for the count of 4, hold for the count of 4, exhale for the count of 4, hold for the count of 4. So it's inhale, exhale, all for the count of 4. Do 4 rounds of that and you'll feel much better.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I've heard of box breathing. That's like the best. I think I do that like before interviews or like when I'm trying to go to sleep. Yeah, the best.
Yeah. Another thing is like get your feet on the ground, preferably actually on earth if possible. But if not, like just put your feet on the ground. I recommend doing this in the morning before you even get up, like out of bed, like just put your feet on the ground and then put your hands on your lap and just imagine that there's like beautiful roots growing from your feet down into the ground. And it's a way to start your day not being reactive, but instead like grounding yourself and feeling your body, not going up to your head and spinning out, and take some deeply nourishing breaths and just allow yourself to start the day in a grounded way.
Oh, wow. Literally grounded. I like that.
Literally grounded. And then the last thing is like at the end of every day, I would empty out all the energy you've been carrying around that's not yours.
Oh, how do you do that? I like that.
Yeah. So you would you could do this, and I do recommend doing it anytime that you feel like you're carrying around stuff that's not yours, is just close your eyes and ask whatever higher being you believe in, God, universe, spirit, like, please help me release any and all energy that's not mine. And then just imagine that there's like a golden waterfall coming over your head and it's just releasing all the energy from your body that's not yours.
I like this one. I'm going to try that one tonight. I like that.
Yeah, girl,
like,
do it.
Literally just washing it all away. Even you just saying that, I'm like, ooh, take it all away.
Well, because then you can come back to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And another part of this, though, you told me that's kind of, working with your nervous system was this pleasure in play. Oh, power of pleasure and play. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you expand on that a bit?
Well, I'm curious, like when you left your work environment
Yeah.
and you were trying to figure out like who am I and how do I figure out what that is? Like what helped you do that before I get into pleasure and play?
Oh my goodness. I like talking to people. I like getting my thoughts out and like having a conversation with people. So that was one way that I was able to figure out like, okay, who the heck am I by talking to like colleagues, to mentors, to friends, to family, just to really see like, is this is this an industry that I want to continue in? Does it
Mm.
look a bit different than maybe what I have always imagined? That kind of thing. And then also kind of sitting with myself and literally like writing out what would be my ideal like job, I guess, if I were to have one. And when I wrote it out, it's completely opposite than what I have always been doing. But a part of me is like, there's no way I can heck freaking do this. There's no way. So then
Yeah.
I just kind of revert back to what I've always known. So yeah, I think those are the two ways that have helped me kind of figure out who the heck I am in this time and space.
And have you spent more time playing and doing things that you love outside of
Oh
work?
yes. Oh, that's such a good
Yeah.
that's a good one. I joined a gym again because I it's one where it's like group classes. I can't just like go to the gym and work out by myself. There's zero motivation in there. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
definitely the gym. Started playing pickleball. I started like I became a notary, which to me was
Oh,
fun.
wow.
I know. I started this podcast, which really makes I don't know. I think it's really fun being able to create outside the confines of a job was absolutely amazing. Like I like
Mhm.
being able to create without any expectations or any rules or any lawyers that I have to show my work to at the end.
Yeah, and for the fun of
Uh-huh,
creating,
and
right?
for the fun
Like,
of it.
we're
Mhm.
not meant to turn every creative endeavor into a business. I mean, it can be,
Yeah,
but, like, it doesn't all have to be, you know?
exactly. Exactly. So for me, I'm just like, if one person watches, if nobody watches this, I'm having a creative outlet and it's beautiful. Mhm.
That's amazing. I love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So those
Oh,
are
that's so great. Yeah, so, well, something I tell all of my clients is, like, we're human beings. We're not Deepak Chopra said this forever ago, and it's, like, ingrained, it's, like, seared in my mind.
yeah.
That we're human beings, we're not human doings.
Oh wow.
And yet we're so obsessed with that, especially in this culture,
Yeah.
you know? And so another thing about your nervous system is when you're playing and when you're diving into pleasure, your nervous system knows that it's safe. And then it just keeps feeling more and more safe.
Mm,
So
mhm.
I think it's really important as adults because it's so easy to get obsessed with all of our and listen, I still dance between this, but to get like obsessed with all of our daily responsibilities, so much so that we forget to play and to make it a priority to have fun. And that doesn't end when you become an adult, you know? And I think as you grow and evolve and change, like the things that you have fun with grow and evolve and change, like the things that make you feel lit up. But we're here to be lit up. We're here to have fun throughout life. And especially when life feels like a shit show and the world feels chaotic. It is, in my opinion, that much more important for us to be doubling down and taking really good care of ourselves and having as much fun as we can with the people that we love because we just don't know. We just don't know what's going to happen in life. And the thing that we do have control over is the way that we show up for ourselves and the way that we choose to live. And I think prioritizing pleasure allows us to feel relaxed in our minds and bodies. And it's really, really important.
I completely agree. Like all work and no play is no fun for anybody.
Mm.
And I think that's also something I realized after I got laid off. I was like, what I mean, besides, taking a vacation once a year with some of my girlfriends, it's like, what are you actually doing outside of this to bring,
Yeah.
to bring more pleasure into your life? Because yeah, it was It's a very news is very stressful, and the nervous system is always on
I can imagine.
crazy increase. Yeah. I think there's something to be said when it comes to loss, maybe loss of a job, loss of whatever. How do we then pick ourselves up and keep going? And like, what does that even look like?
Mm.
What does
Oh,
that transformation even look like? Especially because I know there have been some days I'm just balled up on the couch, like, ain't no way. I'm not doing anything. This is not happening. So,
yeah.
yeah.
And I think it's first of all important to have those days, and not make yourself wrong for having them, and really allowing yourself to feel your feelings and not getting caught up in a shame spiral
Yeah.
for feeling them, because grief it's not prescriptive. It's not like it comes in so many different ways. I work with a lot of people going through divorce because I've gone through divorce myself.
Mm.
And so I deal with this a lot with clients. And the first thing that I say is it's incredibly important to let yourself feel all of it, not try to bypass it, not just try to jump to the good stuff.
Yeah.
Because whenever we do that, those suppressed emotions always end up showing up in another way.
Always. Oh my goodness.
And
You
they
you
bite you in
carry
the
it
ass.
anyway.
Like they just do. There's kind of there's no pretty way to say it. And that's not to be hard on yourself. It's like, it's the human experience. We all go through it.
Exactly.
But I think like when you're trying to pick yourself up, I think it's a really important question to sit with yourself and ask, what am I learning from this situation? Like, what is this teaching me about myself,
Yeah.
about life, and about what I desire moving forward? And what can I start doing today to bring those desires into my life?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like start with baby steps. Certainly don't try to do everything all at once. If it's about like wanting a new relationship, then start dating yourself and treating yourself like like a queen or a king, like take incredibly good care of yourself.
Yeah.
Have as much fun as possible. And then you become magnetic. And then people are drawn to you and want to be around the person who's having the time of their life. Like they don't care if they have somebody else or not, And I think it's even the same thing for a job. Like it's the same thing. Like, how can you take the best care of yourself and show up for yourself in a way that's like the new iteration of you that feels really true to your soul? And the answers reside in your intuition, So as you get quiet, ask your intuition to answer that question, not the mind, because the mind can only conceive of what it already knows of.
Yeah.
Right. So ask, like, get quiet, say like, please get me out of my own way and allow my intuition to answer this question. Like, what am I learning and what am I being called to create at this point in my life? Because we're all being called all the time towards something, you were being called towards this, and who knows if you ever would have done that had you stayed in that job.
Probably not.
Right.
Most likely not. Mm-hmm.
Right. Right. And so we all have those moments and we're having them all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just all trying to like direct us towards the path of, quite frankly, least resistance.
Yeah.
It's when we use our mind to override that we bump up against a lot of resistance and challenge.
This word intuition just keeps coming back. It's come back in so many conversations I've had with people. I'm just oh my goodness, right? It's like the little secret that nobody ever told us until we got older, and we're like, why have I not been listening to this little voice for so long? And it's just, I don't know. Sometimes it's like, how do you? Maybe this is not the right way to say, but like, how do you know if it's intuition or it's just like you trying to like protect yourself? Like, how do you know, how do you listen to your intuition?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great question. And one a lot of people have, and I've had a million times in my life. There's so many. Okay, well, first I'll say this. I used to think everybody had a gut intuition, and that's actually not true. And so I think that right there is very helpful to understand, because some people think like, oh, I just don't have an intuition because my gut doesn't ever speak to me. I don't feel like this unbelievable knowing that comes over me and I just know I know it and I don't know why I know it.
Yeah.
So human design is a really cool way to discover what your intuition is, along with a million other things, because getting to know your chart is incredibly insightful. So I would encourage people to check out their human design chart. Jenna Zoe is a teacher I really admire in that practice. And you could go to her website, and then she has a great app, but it speaks to how your intuition speaks to you.
Okay.
It clearly outlines that. And so I think it's really important to know that, because then it makes it easier for you to decipher, is it your intuition versus your mind and your conditioning?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Secondly,
Okay.
trusting your intuition is a practice that it's like a muscle. Like the more you practice it, the more you strengthen it. And I think that we're in an amazing time in history.
Yeah.
You just said so many people are coming to you talking about intuition, that people are waking up to how much it truly is the most powerful voice that we have within us, because it's our direct
Literally.
line to source, you
Yeah.
know? And so I think more and more people are wanting to trust that over conditioning, because conditioning just has us repeating history.
Yeah.
Intuition is connected to infinite possibilities, you
Ooh,
know?
I like that. Infinite possibilities. Exactly. Just like life. We should never like just go with blinders on. We should have so many
Mhm.
options. I like that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really good. You know, I've this is probably a quirky question, and before I get to the final two, but like you help people with this modality. Do you have someone, is there a therapist for a therapist? Like I know you're not a therapist, but like, is there someone who you go to to make sure that
Yeah.
everything is,
Oh,
is
yeah.
functioning just right?
Oh, for sure. Are you
Yeah.
kidding? Yeah, of course. I mean, when I was going through my divorce, I was already certified in Psych-K, but I wasn't really using it with clients.
Yeah.
Because I use other things besides Psych-K, but that's predominantly what I do with clients. I do a little bit of somatic movement because I do retreats. So most of my clients work
Nice.
with me for 6 months, and then I do day retreats with them because it just allows us to go so much deeper. But when I was going through a divorce, I'd been with my husband for 15 years. I wanted us to
Wow.
remain really good friends. I was like very clear with how I wanted it to go down. And I'd never seen an example of that. So I was like, I am doubling down on all the help that I can get, because it's
Yeah.
like my job right now to heal through this and show up and be proud of like the mom I am and the friend I am to my former husband. Like, and so I worked with somebody for 2 years
Yeah.
doing Psych-K and energy healing work. And I mean, I had like an army to work with. And now I certainly have somebody that I love and respect so much, my friend Ellie,
Yeah.
and she's trained in Psych-K. So like I have a session with her this week. Yeah.
Wow.
It's ongoing. Like this work,
It's a practice. It's
it's
not
a practice. It's not like therapy. Like
yeah.
you don't need it forever. But you're we're in a time where people are really invested in elevating their consciousness. Thank God,
Yeah.
And so I want to keep growing and evolving. I mean, for the rest of my life, of course.
Absolutely. I think that's
Yeah.
something we can all aspire to, just continuously
Yeah.
growing. Because I've
Mhm.
definitely seen some people who are just stuck in their ways. And I'm like, that sounds like a sad existence all the way until
Yeah.
the end.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. And then what I really love too is how can we magnetically create what we want in life? Because you used that term earlier, and I was like, oh, I gotta ask her about that.
Yeah. So it's about becoming aligned with your most authentic self.
Yeah.
And the more that you're aligned with like who you truly are at your core, not who you think you should be, not who you think the world wants you to be,
Yeah.
but who you truly, truly are. And when you're in your essence, you become the most magnetic version of yourself. And then serendipitous moments start to happen. You don't spend so much time trying to control and figure everything out. Instead, it's like things just start flowing to you like magic. The opportunities, the people, the money, the relationships, like it all just starts to flow to you the more you're in your most authentic self. And that, in my experience,
Yeah.
is getting really clear with the things that are blocking you from being that. Because that person's already inside of you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like you're turning into a different person. It's that person's already inside of you. It's letting go of all this stuff that's keeping you from being that person. So maybe it's the job or industry you're in has told you that you have to be this person in order to be successful. But deep down in your soul, you know that's not true.
Yep.
And you want to be somebody different. You want to be you, just still in that industry because maybe you love it,
Yeah.
but you get to be that person. It's amazing how suddenly you can still be in that industry. I've seen this with so many people, And it's like your whole trajectory of your life changes because you're being yourself and you're not letting conditioning get in the way.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so hard. That's so
That's why
hard.
working with the subconscious is so powerful, because that's where
Yeah.
you change all of that. And then it's like one permission slip after another to just be who you truly are. And then you're not becoming malleable and like chameleonizing yourself in every situation, trying to fit who you think you have to be. You're
I
just
like
being
that.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I so needed this conversation. The people pleaser in me, which I did see a
Mhm.
video that you made, so maybe that's the wrong term to use. But of the
Oh,
person
of course.
the
I'm a
person
retired people pleaser for sure. I get it.
I'm on my way to retirement. I'm working so hard to clock out because yeah, it's
Burning.
tough. And so then that's like I feel as if for me at least that's one hurdle I got to get over in order to live as authentically as possible, and it is so hard. What did you do?
Subconscious work.
Oh.
Listen, trust me, I tried all the other things
Yeah.
and they helped for a little bit, but it wasn't sustainable. And that's what I love about the subconscious piece is like
Yeah.
when you rewire those beliefs, it's done because the subconscious is 40 between 4 million and 40 million. Science varies in which study you're looking at, stronger than the conscious mind. So once it's in there, it's done. You don't have to
Mm.
keep doing it over and over again,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so doing that work completely changed my habits because people pleasing, for all your listeners, people pleasing is a habit of abandoning yourself. And it comes about from, it usually happens at a young age based on like what society tells you you should be. And you're usually being in an environment in which, in order for you to feel safe, you decided, of course, not consciously, let's just make that
Yeah.
clear. Like you decided that you needed to abandon your own needs and make sure that you're the peacekeeper in your family or in your friend dynamic, whatever it may be. And then after doing that for so long and getting praised for it, it started to feel like, oh, this is just who I am and this is great. And I mean, let's be honest, it kind of sounds like a good job description. Like you're making everybody happy around you.
Exactly.
But at the end of the day, I've seen it a million times now
Yeah.
after coaching hundreds of people and experiencing it myself. You reach burnout, and
Yes.
then that inner resentment and anger comes out. It's just inevitable. And then you kind of got to like dismantle that whole way of being, which is liberating
Yeah.
because then you start to realize like, oh wait, other people's emotions and how they show up in life are literally not my responsibility at all.
Speak it. Uh-huh.
The
Uh-huh.
only thing I'm responsible for is being true to myself and speaking up and being honest.
Mhm.
And the more that I do that, the more I attract and I'm in relationship with the people that are aligned with the true me.
Yes, exactly. That's the goal. Oh my goodness. That seems like a daily practice kind of thing in
It
order
is
to
for sure.
yeah.
Are you kidding? Yeah. And there's boundaries. Like there's so many layers to it?
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Yeah. I'm trying to cuz I always look at older folk like seniors and stuff and they just don't give a fuck. They're like, I don't care. I'm going to tell you how it is. And they just look like they're living their best life at the end of their years. I was like, I want that now. I want that now. Like,
Yeah.
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 So I like all these lessons that you have disseminated on us is just absolutely amazing, Ash. Thank you so much. Like I'm already thinking of ways of how I can, reach out to a Psych-K modality trainer like you, or do some techniques and stuff on my own, slowly by slowly, day by day, because that's really what it seems like. It's the compounding effect of how you speak to yourself and how you show up in the world as authentically as possible. And so I just want to thank you so much because this is like free therapy right here.
Thank you so much for having me. I love chatting with you.
Of course, of course. And Ash, before we go, how can people find you?
Yeah, they can find me on my website, ashcebulka.com, or on Instagram, which the handle is also Ash Cebulka.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Amazing. Is there anything that we didn't get to that you really just wanted to, share with everyone or get off your chest?
I guess, yeah, two things. One is that I work a lot with women. There's so many women coming to me right now that are just they're all having the I'm done moment, you know, where they're
Yes.
like, I am done. Yeah, like I'm done the people pleasing. I'm done with like trying to be everything to everybody else. I'm done, I'm done, or I'm done with toxic relationships.
Yeah.
And I just want you to know that it's possible to have the most loving, lighthearted, resilient, incredible relationship with yourself. Like, I really didn't think that that was possible for so much of my life. And now that I'm living it and helping other women do that, like, it is a possibility. And I just want you to know that, like, you have it within you to change that. And it's the most important relationship for you to tend to. And as that changes and evolves and becomes so loving and solid, everything else in your life will fall into place the way that it needs to.
Absolutely.
Which is the last thing that I wanted to say, which is that, like, you're it. Like, you are your source of happiness, of fulfillment. Like, you're your own before you're anyone else's. And I think it's so important for us to remember that in a world that keeps shiny carrots all around us and
Yeah.
like all these shiny objects that we think are going to be the source of fulfillment for us. And then we're going to finally feel good enough or whole or whatever. Like, it's all an inside job. It is all an inside job. And when you really get that, it's so freeing and liberating because like everybody else gets to be off the hook.
Yep. Exactly. Oh, I love that, Ash. It's an inside job. I love it. The call is coming from inside the house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Ash. Thank you for all the wisdom you've proffered over to us.
Oh, of course. Well, thank you for having me. I've loved chatting with you.
Of course, of course. So we'll talk soon.
Okay.
Hey there, one more thing before you go. First, thank you so much for watching and listening. You didn't have to. You could have done literally anything else with your time. So I am so appreciative. Number two, if you liked what you heard or you resonated with anything, please like, comment, subscribe. Do all the things. All the links will be in the show notes so we can continue exploring this wild, weird, wacky, and awesomely wonderful world outside of work. I need to hit like, not rock bottom, but like shit needs to go wrong for me to finally be like, oh, okay.